I hope everybody got their proton packs on for today. We're going beyond the borderline with Cam, Connor, Phil, and Ryan. I say that because we're talking about the supernatural today.
Right. That was good, man.
One of my favorite topics.
Right. So we ended last episode. We talked about the afterlife, and then it got on to kind of ghosts and the paranormal. So I guess let's just kick it off with, we were basically talking about Phil's experience with potential supernatural entities. Well, and myself as well, but in Phil's house. But anyway, Phil, you explain kind of where we're coming with that.
Sure.
Not sure if
Tell us about Marge.
No, Midge.
No, no. I was gonna mention that. Now you messed it up.
Okay,
Anywho,
you tell it.
So basically, as a young kid, I believe in ghosts like any other kid would. And then as you get older, you're like, I was an idiot back then. But I had a genuine encounter, I believe.
It's okay. You're still an idiot. It's all good.
Nothing's changed.
Damn.
No, I'm kidding.
Just a job, an idiot with a job.
Yeah.
So basically what had happened was Cam and I were chilling at my house and no one was home. We were just messing around, probably watching YouTube or something. That is an abyss to begin with, those rabbit holes. Anyway, I thought, and Kim, you can attest to this, I swear to God, I heard someone come down my steps and speak to us at maybe between midnight and 2 p.m, something like that, like super late.
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
didn't make any sense whatsoever. But ever since then, I thought, let's go against the grain. I'm going to call this guy Midge because Jim is too mainstream. You just gotta.
We're such idiots.
You gotta go against
Jim.
the grain.
It's just Jim backwards. I don't know who the hell Jim is. I don't know how we settled on that name. Okay, but this is what I remember, Phil. Okay, I remember we were in your basement, and we were watching something. I don't fucking know. And then we heard
there were footsteps and a door slam for sure.
Yeah, and a door slam. And I thought it was your cat at the time, Skittles. Okay. And I was like,
well, it actually sounded like my dad.
Well, okay, yeah. So I'm getting to that. So the footsteps, I was like, oh, it's probably the cat fucking around. But the cat was in the room with us. So then I was like, okay, well, what the hell was making that sound upstairs then? Because no one else is in the house, not your brother, not your parents, fucking nobody. And then eventually I started going upstairs, like I don't know why, to get food or something, and you were gonna come, but you were still in your basement,
like so you were kind of going to investigate.
Yeah, but I was going up alone, and then I swear to shit, I hear your dad on the stairs behind me say like, oh hey boys or something, and in your dad's voice, like straight up perfect copy.
No.
And I was convinced that your dad was behind me on the stairs. And I was like, I wasn't scared because I was like, oh, it's just, it's just Rolly. And then turn around, fucking absolutely nobody there. There's no cars in the driveway. Your parents have not come home yet. There's nobody. Yep. You didn't speak. And I was like, what just happened? And then it turns out aren't your grandfather's ashes in the house or something?
Yeah.
Or they were at the
100%.
time. And so then we were like, oh my God, damn, maybe it's him. Anyway, but then we named him Midge for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah.
Wasn't there another encounter like this that you guys had? Like just weird things like opening and closing and shit too?
There was a closet slamming your basement hallway closet door. It randomly slammed shut one time.
My basement closet,
right when you come down the stairs and turn right.
Gotcha. Oh wow, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah,
it's pretty spooky.
But also maybe we were just jumpy kids,
I
No. We could have been watching like a ghost compilation.
We were obsessed with ghosts, bro. We literally had like ghost hunting gadgets and shit, like
I know.
motion detectors and stuff.
Like there was like
EMF readers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I put I put a lot of stock into, the lore and the different stories surrounding, common, wives' tales, folk tales, and stories about different, supernatural beings and what have you. And what I find interesting is, yeah, you could say it's all, you could chalk it up all to fiction, just, creative people coming up with creative stories, but there is too much similarity between the stories for it just to be a bunch of guys stealing and sharing ideas. I think this is why I think in some degrees supernatural beings like ghosts exist, because there are so many legends across different cultures that are just too similar, and it's the same thing that you attribute the different religions to each other, how there are similarities between Muhammad and Jesus and the different gods between different religions. I think the same kind of phenomenon can be attributed to supernatural occurrences.
Yeah.
And how people
Well,
perceive
that's a
it.
good point. But also think about it. People also love to embellish and they love to tell stories.
Yeah, of course.
And they love to like there's also symbolism and like metaphor and
Yeah, so are those
scaring children.
are those supernatural beings as dramatized and as built up as pop culture likes to make them? No, probably not. But do they exist? I think
Mhm.
so. Yes.
I guess like I guess I
talk
can be
about-
open to it because I'm open to the idea of like demons and shit, I suppose.
So you want to talk about like religion and stuff like that? Like Muslims believe in jinns, which essentially are like they say are below angels and demons,
Mhm.
and they're like spirits or ghouls, and they try to trick people. That's their objective, is to trick people. But they're
Like
essentially
into sinning.
Yes, and
they're
so
like they're more like tricksters rather than like trying to tempt you to do bad things. They're more like tricksters.
Like a
so
Play
that
with your
poltergeist.
mind and stuff like that.
theme of trickster surrounding the jinn goes across all the interpretations of jinns across many culture. Like the Polish interpretation of jinn is a trickster, supernatural trickster being that grants you wishes, but if you're not careful with how you wish, you get fucked in the long run.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it'll use the words that you say against you, right?
Yeah, so it'll give you your wish, but not exactly as the way you wanted it to be.
Well, yeah, that's
Like-
like genie comes from Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, oh, I want $1 million. Oh, you got $1 million hairs or whatever, something silly like that.
Isn't that like Pink Panther?
Or let's say for
What's that
instance,
from?
let's say for instance, you hate someone and you're like, oh, I wish this person was dead. Well, then the jinn transports you to another reality where that person's dead.
And also
Right.
your mother's dead. Oh no.
Okay.
Yo,
That
okay,
was
but
dark.
I just thought of this other ghost story when you guys are talking about this, and like this one was kind of tough. So I think I was about 12 or 13, and we went on a ski trip. We went to like New Hampshire area, upstate New York, New Hampshire. It was near like Stowe,
Mhm.
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, it was like Stowe and Sugarbush and stuff like that, right? And so my family at like like we had a bunch of family friends. I think there was like 4 different families at this cottage. Yeah, so it was like an Airbnb or whatever, and it was like an old farmhouse, but it's like hundreds of years old. And we obviously we don't think anything of it. Our cottage is an old cottage, like over 100 years old, so it's whatever. But we got there, and when we got there, like I could just feel like in my heart, like just darkness around this farmhouse. And it was just it was like a weird feeling that I've never felt in any other place I've been. And it felt dark and like ominous, I guess. And so, obviously like, during the day we're out skiing, so you think nothing of it, and then you come back at the end of the day. And I just remember like I was one of the older kids there, so there's a bunch of other younger kids, and these kids were terrified. They were like, they thought it was haunted. They were like freaked out. So they ended up sleeping with their parents in their parents' bedrooms, because there's like one like in the attic of the farmhouse was like 4 or 5 different bunk beds, and that's where all the kids slept. But a couple of those kids were like freaking out, so they went and slept with their parents in their parents' room. And like I was telling my parents, I'm like, yo, this is haunted. Like this is sketch. Like no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So like okay, whatever. So like me, my brothers, and like a couple other like kids, we all slept in the attic area. But like random stuff would happen, like things would get moved, wake up with like covers on the like not like on the bottom, like on the bottom bunk. So it's not like it just fell off and fell onto the ground. It'd be like the bunk underneath, or like extra extra blankets on your bed, like shit like that. That was like weird. And I just remember we were playing hide and go seek, which is like the dumbest thing you can do when you think this place is haunted. And so everyone's playing hide and go seek, and there's the one main room, and I was trying to find people or stuff like that. And so I look at this picture and the eyes are staring at me. And then I move to a different part of the room and the eyes are staring at me.
Like they're
And then
following you?
yeah. And then I like, I'm like, oh, like maybe this is just like one of those like optical illusion things. So then I like, kind of like crouch down, like, so like I'd be like under the gaze, things still staring at me. And like, it's not like, like old pictures where they're like straight face. Like this was like not a straight face. It was like angry. Like it was mad. Get the fuck out of here, mad. And
Damn.
so like I was like
man.
freaking out. I run to my parents. I'm like, yo, mom, dad, check this out. Like this is messed up. Like this is not like, we cannot be sleeping here another night. This is so scary. And they come in and they're like, oh, like don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. Da 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 da. And then we're like, okay, fine, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Like we're just kids. I'm just overreacting. Like whatever. And then a couple years later, I come back up to my parents. I'm like, remember that time we were at that ski trip? Like that was like the sketchiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, and my mom is like, yeah, like I was kind of freaked out about that too. Like I felt like it might have been actually haunted. And so like my mom just like justifying like that sketched out and like that fear that we had was like almost like a reassurance. Like, wow, like I wasn't tripping. Like I wasn't just a kid. Like I could sense these like bad spirits or like something else there,
So is
Um,
that like when it comes to like malicious shit like that, do you think it's more likely that it was like a malicious spirit of some person who died or a demonic entity?
like, oh, like again, like
'Cause that's different.
I was in 11 or 12, so I like I didn't really have the knowledge or understanding to perceive it as that. I just thought it could have very well easily just been like some sort of spirit, just like this is my area, like
Yeah.
don't fuck with it or whatever. Because like again, we were kids, so like we're running around the entire farmhouse, like playing games. Like we'd go like when we weren't skiing, we go like sliding down, like because it was on a little bit of a hill, so we go sliding down the hill and just do like shit that kids do. So we could have been stirring something up in the if it were spirits, they could have been like like stop fucking with this place, like just giving
Mhm.
us like warnings, like nothing bad happened. It just like people were getting freaked out a little bit, so it
Yeah.
was probably just like like stop fucking with the shit.
Dude, actually, when it comes to demons, there was at one point in my life where I truly, truly believed. So this was before
You have to.
this was before like, so I have sleep paralysis from time to time, and it used to be a lot worse than it is now. It used to be like a few times a week.
So wait, well, what is sleep paralysis?
Basically, it's fucked. Like your mind kind of wakes up. I think it's when you're
Oh,
in
so it's
REM
like
sleep,
lucid.
but
It's like lucid dreaming.
no,
No,
because
lucid
your
dream is where
conscious.
you're dreaming and you're just like, I'm in a dream and you can control your environment.
Yeah,
Sleep paralysis is
Okay,
like
okay, okay.
when you wake up in your bed but you can't move your body. Your
yeah.
body's still asleep, but your mind is awake and you can like open your eyes a little bit.
But then you
And
start to like trip out because
That's
your
terrifying.
brain
Yeah.
is like contradicting itself. So a lot of people report like hallucinations and like strange shadowy figures. Like for
Yeah.
example, a lot of alien abduction stories people attribute to possibly being sleep paralysis.
There's like
Be-
there's this. Sorry to interrupt you, Kim, but I
no,
just
all
want to
good.
say like the hallucination you're talking about is like a dark looming creature either over
Mhm.
the or figure, sorry, not creature, either looming over the end of the bed or the side of the bed,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
got like a hood. Like people describe it as like a hood or a hat that the shadow is wearing, so you can't see its face, and it's in dark clothing. So it's almost like a silhouette, but it's all like sort of similar, like tall, dark, hooded or hat, and it's kind of
Yeah,
cloaking
and
its
like
face.
unidentifiable.
Yeah, and
Um,
some people have attested it to be like something like the Grim Reaper, or like a demonic spirit. But
yeah.
anyways,
Well,
continue.
Can
so
can you
before
speak on your own experience with it?
well, yeah, so I was gonna say before I knew that it was sleep paralysis. So the very first time it ever happened was fucking insane, dude. So I'm asleep, or like I thought I was asleep, I guess. I don't know. And then I suddenly become conscious, but I wasn't sure if I was dreaming, but I could see my room around me, in a very real sense. So I knew that if it was a dream, then it was like the most realistic dream ever, but I couldn't move. And basically the not being able to move does fucked up things to you because
Mhm.
basically what happens, and I think this is common to people that have sleep paralysis, it's like one of the major things, but an overwhelming sense of fear just washes over you, dude, like a tsunami. Like, and you can't pinpoint where it's coming from, right? You don't see any threat, but you're like, just imagine the most scared you've ever been in your life, just hitting you like a wall. And so I'm
So wait,
feeling this.
can I
I
ask
think
one
it
quick
stems.
question?
I think
Because
it stems from the
I'm
lack
very
of control.
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
You have
I'm
no
very
control of the
interested to hear this
situation.
story. I just have one question, Cam. When you're in this sleep paralysis state,
Yeah.
or at least the first time anyway, and maybe times after this, are your eyes open?
You I don't like, I would like to have a video camera on me because yes, I think they are from what I'm
Because
perceiving.
you're
Yeah.
seeing, okay, all
Like I
right.
see the room around me,
It's
for
hard.
the
Think how
It's
most
hard
part.
because
think how
you
trippy it
can't. You
would
can't.
be if your eyes were closed though, and you're still
Yeah.
perceiving that. Like so,
Yeah. Well, it could be part
think
It,
dream, like half dream, half reality.
here's yeah. Here's the thing, Ryan. It could just be like your the memory in your brain of your room around you, with this
Yeah.
added thing in the room. So here's the thing. Like I guess I'm not sure on the studies, but like the theory is like it could just be your eyes closed and you're actually still asleep. It's just you're picturing yourself sleeping in your room
Yeah.
and this
You're just
creature there,
projecting
or
your memories.
yeah, or it could be your eyes open and you're a hallucination of this thing in the room with you.
Yeah. So it's like half reality, half hallucination slash dream, which it makes it so
mhm.
trippy, right? But anyway, so I just feel this overwhelming sense of fear, and then I become conscious that I can't move, which only adds to the fear. And then I just felt like there's something in the shadows, like you said, Connor, like the edge of the bed, but like out of the field of vision almost, just something like some evil force that was
You
creating
sense
the
a
fear
presence.
inside me. Yeah, a
Yeah.
presence. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it felt as if it entered me. And then I was violently lifted off the bed and like spun around in the air as this dude, like
Jesus,
this sounds
That's
crazy.
wild, dude.
Like now
you
I
were
sound like a
fucking
crazy person.
possessed.
I sound like a crazy person, but this is what it felt like. Obviously, I'm not saying this is what happened in reality, but this is how I was perceiving it in this state of being that I was in. And I could feel it inside me, like trying to almost like break out of my chest. And then so I was paralyzed still, right? But the only thing I became conscious of was I'm wearing one now, but this is a new one. But I used to wear a gold crucifix. This was in high school. And I was like, in my sleep paralysis state, I was like, okay, this is a demon. I need to like touch the cross or something.
You
And
need to ground
so,
yourself.
yeah, that's what happens when I'm in sleep paralysis is you always have to ground yourself by moving. And it takes like an enormous amount of willpower to like twitch your finger or something, and then you can snap out of it. So I'm like focusing like all my energy on just moving my arm, and then I'm being spun around by this crazy demonic force. And then I finally break it. I freaking smack my arm to my chest and grab my crucifix. And then this is the most fucked up part. This is the most fucked up part. I felt the worst pain. So up until I had surgery a couple years ago on my stomach, that was the worst pain ever. But before that, this was the worst pain I'd ever felt in a dream, basically, was when I grabbed the cross. It felt like every bone in my body simultaneously shattered, and all my teeth, this was the weirdest part, all my teeth simultaneously shot out of my gums at the same
Ugh.
time. And then I was awake, and my bed sheets were like ruffled and stuff. So I was like, I must have been moving a little bit at least, but I felt like I was paralyzed the whole time. And I just snapped out of it as soon as I, touched the cross and that whole pain happened. So after that, I was like sitting in bed awake for like 3 hours. Like, what the fuck just happened to me? I literally just got possessed by a fucking demon, and only the
So-
power of Christ saved me. But then
So-
I realized it was probably sleep paralysis.
Well,
Anyway,
here's the there's these theories.
But it's
that-
because you got
There's
possessed
theories
and
going around.
God saved you.
yeah.
There's these theories going around where it's like that creature is definitely a demonic spirit, and so I mean each person interacts with it a different way, but essentially it's all it is, or like some people think it's a demonic spirit, some people think it's just inner fear. And so you have to find that like that light or that grounding thing. And for you, it was touching like your cross. And
Mhm.
I've had I had a similar thing where I had sleep paralysis one night, and then I did some research on it, and then I was like, okay, like what the fuck? And then a couple of weeks later, I had a similar dream, but I wasn't sure if it was sleep paralysis or if it was just me remembering this
Yeah.
experience in the research I did. And so what I did instead of like grounding like that, so I saw this creature and I went back into like a dream state, and I was like I went to safe places that were, you know, like special and that were safe for me. So, you know, different places that I've been in my life with
Tim
my
Hortons.
family. The place that I went to, I tried to go like to escape to the most was my cottage, because my cottage, obviously my family's there all the time. That's where I spent the most time with them. But beyond that, like my cottage has been blessed by priests. That's where my parents got married. That's where I was baptized. So it's blessed, like my cottage is blessed lands.
Yeah.
And so I would just as often as I could, I just shift the reality in my dream to being at my cottage, because I knew if this was like a bad spirit, that it wouldn't be able to cross this threshold
Yeah.
that was like holy land. And so that's what I kept going back to. And like for you, it's touching the cross. For me, it was just escaping to these safe places that I knew
Yeah.
were happy and I could be like at peace in. And that was like, that's I think a very common thing. That so if this is happening to anybody listening, just remember that, like, if you are in a state like this, don't feed into the fear. Think of happy things and bring yourself and ground yourself in happiness, and don't feed into the fear, because that's what fear does.
Fear
Right?
is
It
the
just
mind killer.
yeah, it just
So
consumes you.
So something not that chill happened last night. Is what you're saying, Cam. Is something not that chill happened last
Oh my
night.
god, I'm Jonah Hill from
Incredible.
You were fucking
Incredible.
possessed by the dick demon.
Oh no.
Oh man.
The shadow on the wall. That was so funny.
So something else I wanted to, while we're having this discussion about supernatural beings, it kind of shies away more of it from the dream stuff. But Cam, you did mention briefly when talking about your sleep paralysis about, the common stories surrounding alien abductions.
Yeah.
And the question I want to pose to you guys is, why do you think we haven't found intelligent alien life? Like, why do you think there's so much controversy surrounding this subject? I have I have a like an opinion on this. I'll tell you my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think first.
Okay. Well, we touched on this a little bit in episode 1, but what do I truly believe, or like what do I think is maybe the most
So even if you don't believe in aliens, for the purpose of the question, let's just entertain the fact. Let entertain the idea of, okay, what if aliens do exist? Why haven't we seen them?
Because they don't want to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
they're an intergalactic hunter.
Is it possible that we are the highest form of intelligence in the known galaxy, and that although there may be intelligent life, they haven't even achieved a level of technology that we've achieved?
Absolutely.
possibility,
In fact, that's
but if you
probably
believe-
That's
most likely.
absolutely a possibility.
If you believe that as a possibility, you can't deny the fact that we could also be one of the least intelligent.
No, I think that I believe that that's a possibility. I'm asking you guys. That's
Yeah.
I know what
So
I
here's-
believe. I
here's-
want to know your
here's-
guys' opinions.
I forget the guy's name off the top of my head right now, but he essentially believes, or yeah, so through dream, what does he call it? He calls it like dreamscaping or whatever.
Mhm.
He's able to enter different realities, and that there's these things called the Intergalactic Confederation. How much of
Right.
that is true, I don't know, but like there's definitely some some good basis to go off of there where there's more intelligent beings than us and they know of our existence, but we haven't evolved to be as intelligent as them, so we don't deserve to know that they're present, and they could be living on Earth and watching us until we hit that threshold, and then they're like, okay, because like humans by nature are not very peaceful. Like you think about all the wars and just
Mhm.
you know different countries always feuding and stuff like that. Like there's no harmony, there's no true harmony on Earth. So that's the thing where it's like, are we going to bring this disarray and like little chaos that we have to the rest of the world, to the rest of the universe, if we can think beyond our planet?
If people were observing us for entire history, then they would probably come to that conclusion. Yeah.
So here's where I'm at with this whole is why haven't we seen aliens? Is there aliens out there? And I subscribe to a lot of different theories, but the theory I find myself coming back to more often than not, I'm a pretty big fan. Like I need to preface this by first, I'm a pretty big fan of Star Trek. I'm more of a fan of Star Wars, but so if we got into the whole Trekkie Star Wars,
Frickin' Trekkies.
I'm not I'm a Trekkie, but I like Star Wars way more, but I still love Star Trek. Anyways, in Star Trek, there is this not ideology, but there's this belief, or there's this mantra that the Federation, and the Federation for you guys who don't know, it's don't really pay attention to Star Trek, is a collection of alien races that all have achieved a certain threshold of technological capability and have banded together to explore the unknown and known regions of the universe and galaxy. Anyways, the mantra that the Federation abides by is called the Prime Directive. It's something that you first hear Spock mention. Spock is one of the biggest characters in all of Star Trek. And the Prime Directive states that any superior or any member of the Federation or any superior intelligent race cannot reveal itself to a lesser race that has not achieved the same threshold of technology, because if you do that, it messes with their, with their
Their trajectory.
I can't even say the word.
Development.
Developmental cycle of their race, right? Like they if you reveal yourself too early, it doesn't let them develop the same naturally like an intelligent race should. I think I'm explaining that properly. So why I think we haven't seen, why I believe we haven't seen a higher form of intelligent, humanoid or non-humanoid race is because of that very thing. I think if aliens exist, they're hiding themselves from us with their superior technology because they want us to achieve the same threshold of technology so that we can provide, meaningful contributions to the wider galaxy at large.
There's also the theory. There's also the theory like about Area 51 and the fact that there has been many videos. Like, have those videos been doctored? Maybe, maybe not. But there's
so
also
obviously stuff slips through the cracks too, right? Like
there's also the theory that Area 51 has alien technology and stuff that does come to Earth. They try and keep under wraps and send there. That's something maybe we can dive into next episode because
it's entirely speculative though.
Yeah, so maybe
what if Area 51 is what if it's just a front?
What if it's
yeah, that's the thing.
What if it's a hologram?
What if there really is a place where there is alien technology being kept hidden from the masses, and they use Area 51 and purposefully leak as a smoke screen, but they purposely leak certain things just to keep your curiosity wondering, but never enough to be like you have like 100% quantifiable.
Look, this is the simplest answer. Either aliens don't exist or we're just both mutually unaware of each other's existence.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true, Cam.
It's more likely than speculating that that the Federal Reserve has aliens.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm
bank
saying
accounts
is,
and shit.
I think it's equally as possible that there is such a highly advanced race that their technology far exceeds our own, and their level of thinking far exceeds our current level of comprehension, that they are capable of hiding themselves from us
Yeah.
so
Hey,
so effectively that is why we can't perceive them yet.
Before we end this episode though, Ryan, going way back to the beginning of the episode, way back, a whole 10, 15 minutes. But you had a demon story of at your cottage. So I think you should share that before we end the episode today.
This
Okay,
I
keep
also
it-
need to. Yeah, I'll keep it short.
under 5 minutes. But yeah, take it
This
away.
I also need to preface. I was pretty intoxicated, so take
So
it with
nothing,
a grain of,
nothing you say matters. Basically,
take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe me. Believe me. I don't care. I don't care that
he's
I
a
was on
liar.
alcohol. I know what I saw. Okay, I know what I saw.
He's a liar and a thief.
So one weekend, I was at my cottage in Tremblant with the lads here and a larger group of our friends. You know, we were partying, having a good time, whatever. And
Responsibly.
I love this cottage.
Yes.
It's always brought me like a semblance of peace and a semblance of joy. And you know, when Connor was talking about, you know, going to his like happy place, so to speak, when he's having, you know, when he believes that when he's in, you know, in dreams and he's being contacted by like a vengeful or demonic spirit, he goes to his cottage because it reminds him, or not necessarily reminds him, but it makes him feel safe. I attribute this place the same way. But there must have been some sort of invasion or enemy at the gates, because one evening when we were all just, you know, partying and having a good time, you know, we're just all sitting in the main dining room, partying, talking, whatever. I think we were playing a drinking game. And like I said, was pretty intoxicated at the time, but not so intoxicated that I couldn't remember. Like I was completely cohesive and remember the night fully. I was sitting beside Cam and Phil, I think, at the time, and I looked over to my left and I saw this weird figure that kind of like, I wish I had video to show you the position it was in. Cam and Phil know exactly the position that I'm talking about. It was this, I call it a skin demon. And the reason I call it a skin demon is it looked, you guys know how Deadpool looks like in the Deadpool movie.
You
Like
sure it
his
wasn't
skin
the rake?
No. It was it. You guys know how Deadpool looks, though. Like his skin looks all
Yeah,
fucked up and looks nasty. That's how it looked, but it had like the mouth of a Dementor from Harry Potter, and it did like this weird pose, and it was walking. It was like running into Cam and Jess's room, and it just made this weird oh sound, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I jolted up, ran over to like the room. Nothing was there. Everything was fine.
You ran
but-
toward it?
Yeah, I want to know what the fuck where it was.
Yeah,
What the fuck
you
was
would
this
be
shit?
so dead in a horror
Oh my
movie.
gosh.
So, but here's the real kicker. I mentioned earlier how my cottage has always brought me, like, it's always been like a happy place for me. Whenever I'm feeling sad or anxious or whatever, I think about that place and it makes me happy. This is something I've kept close to myself and I've never told anyone. So I'm telling everyone now.
Oh god.
Ever since this event, I can't think of my cottage the same way. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I still love it. It's still considered my quote unquote happy place. But whenever I think about it, there's that small little, it's almost like a small little gnat in the back of my head. That's like,
Well, fuck, I don't want to go back now. That's creepy.
You gotta
maybe there's
kick.
there's something there now. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, and I probably am. But anyways,
You
that
sure
was
wasn't
my
Zach?
experience.
You gotta
sure
kick that
wasn't-
fear out.
No one was there. I went into your room after, like immediately after I saw the fucking skin demon run in. Nothing was there.
Except
But
that
the
portrait
door-
of a topless lady.
Hold
that's
on.
in that room
The
for some
door,
reason.
so the door leading into your room, the room that you guys were staying in, was like slightly ajar.
Mhm.
But after the skin demon went in there, the door opened by itself, like it creaked open. And there's no draft in that house. The hinges on that door had just recently been replaced. Like that door was pretty much like not in any condition to just randomly creak open. I know it's
So-
a cottage and old and they're old and things happen like that, but no, never.
Okay, but also alcohol can.
Yes, of course, alcohol. Yes, probably,
Yes.
definitely contributed
not-
to the
Alcohol is not a
And,
hallucinogenic.
Might I
though,
add
that's the other
that
thing.
there may have been
True.
some psychoactive
I was
Maybe.
not.
remnants
I
in your
was not.
system.
I was not on any psychedelics whatsoever.
He was on the spice.
The spice.
The
For
ganja.
intergalactic
no
travel.
no psychedelics
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. It's possible. You saw what you saw.
I'll bring an EMF reader next time I'm up there.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna bring a
Cameron, I'm
freaking
definitely
shotgun.
convinced that you got possessed.
Me?
Yeah, I am convinced.
No,
that Cam was
no.
possessed.
I
Oh, yeah.
thought it was possession until I got sleep paralysis like a lot of times. Then I realized it was the same feeling, like the feeling of fear. like that specific, unique, overwhelming feeling of fear, I was like, oh, that's what this was.
Or maybe it's just the same demon trying to get into you over and over again.
Maybe
And you're
because
just-
I
you're just-
die now
you're
in all
just
my
getting
sleep
better.
paralysis.
You're just
I always
getting better
die.
at. You're just getting better.
What?
You're just getting better at thwarting his efforts.
That's crazy.
Yo.
How many times do you have this?
Well, not as often anymore, but like total, probably like 50 times or so.
Jeez.
I think
You know how many times I've had it? 0.
Yeah, no, I've had some pretty.
Zero.
I've had some
sleep
pretty
paralysis.
fucked dreams, but never sleep paralysis.
Oh
I've
my
had sleep
gosh.
paralysis before too. It just
Yeah,
happens.
it's kind of
but
cool, but,
That's
but it
terrible,
is
dude.
Yeah, it's-
horrifying for
yeah.
sure.
it's a little, yeah, it's weird. But anyways, I think we should leave it there. So tune in. I guess this is the Friday episode. So tune in next week. We might discuss Area 51. We might discuss something else. If you guys slide into the DMs and give us something that you want us to talk about, we're more than happy.
Yeah, let's
to
just do
discuss.
aliens, man.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get into a larger conversation.
Unless
on
someone
aliens.
wants to suggest something better, then
Yeah,
yeah,
again,
we're open to
slide
that.
into the DMs. Let us know if you want our opinions on something specific, you know, like give us some suggestions of what you want us to discuss. I mean, you know, we're all super geniuses, masters. No, I'm just kidding. We're just a couple
No,
guys talking about
false.
some random stuff. So yeah, if you want to hear our opinion, by all means, slide into the DMs, let us know, discuss with us, chat with us. We're happy to interact. We might be going on an Instagram or some sort of live soon to talk to you guys and just do a little question. We'll see in the near future. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to take care and brush your
Hair.
Hair.
hair. Thank you. There we go. All right, guys. Have a good one.